we're very excited to talk with you guys and to talk with you. And I know Steve from years ago, and I have a very similar desire in the world, to make the world a better place with using technology and for the best and the highest, and doing it for almost 4 decades, for 30 years now. And
awesome.
Started my first 1984 with the Mac 512K, and it was revolutionary for me. And I'd like to give you a little journey. I want to hear about you. I'd like to give a little journey about what we're up to and show you a little bit of the tech and what I think could be a good synergy with what WOZU is doing. And hopefully we can help to bring lots of students into WOZU is our goal.
Okay, awesome, yeah.
First of all, where are you? Where are you at?
I'm in Arizona, and I've been with WOZU going on 3 years now. We have quite a few sister companies that work together, so I've seen all sides of the business. It's been probably about 1.5 years now since we became WOZU. So before we were Coder Camp, and then Steve Wozniak came to us and talked about a partnership and became a co-founder, and that's when we transitioned and rebranded into WOZU. So his goal, he loves, obviously you know him pretty well, he loves technology, he loves education, and he wanted to merge those two together. And so that's when we became WOZU. And then we have all different companies under WOZU. We have the foundation. We have WOZU, which we work B2I, B2C, consumers that are coming in individually and taking our courses. And then we have WOZU Education as well, which is K-12 platform, where we do STEAM kits and different things into school districts, YMCAs, different things like that. So we're getting youth involved too, because obviously if you train them at a younger age to think like a developer, it's a lot easier than training someone that's 30 or 40 to think like a developer. Those are kind of the different areas that we have within the business. And I work a lot on the B2B side. So we work with, I'm in kind of a nonprofit area, but also I work on the education side. But we are working with a lot of government agencies, cities, counties, and producing cohorts so that they have a lot of interest in training people just because of the tech talent gap that we see right now in Arizona and in the United States in general. And so we're working with a lot of different agencies and nonprofits to create cohorts so that instead of training one-offs, we can train 20 people at one time how to become and think like software developers. On our software developer side, we train in multiple languages, Java, JavaScript, .NET. We do full stack, so front end and back end. And then we also offer cybersecurity and data science. The cybersecurity and data science requires some prerequisites, obviously, to get into those. You have to have a little bit of experience, math background, statistics, cybersecurity, Network Plus, CompTIA we require. But on the software developer side, the program that's designed, we have people that start from scratch that have no background in software development. And we start at coding from scratch, and we train them in CSS, JavaScript, and then we progress and add different principles upon that to the point where when they get out of our program, they're prepared to be a entry-level developer.
Nice. I love it.
Our whole purpose, it's career-based. We want them to get into a career. We want them to get a job. We don't want to just take their money and say good luck. So throughout the program, they're supported with instructors, mentors, and then once they get towards the end of the program, we have a whole career services team, which helps them get ready for interviews, resumes, their LinkedIn, all the different types of pages they can share with developers. And then we even have partners where we can help them get interviews. It's just up to them to go to an interview and to perform well and get a job that way. We placed last year, 84% of our graduates were placed in a job. Starting salary average was $57,200 coming out of our 12-week program or our 33-week program. Cool story. We actually just had a developer last week that was placed at American Express, no college degree, and he's going to be making right around $48 an hour, so about $100,000 a year coming out of our program.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, he has.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was cool because he was actually one of our admissions reps. He worked with a lot of people that were interested in the program, and he was one of our best, but he said, look, I keep telling people, look, anybody can do this, so I'm going to put it to the test. And he, like I said, he had no background, resigned from his job, went into the program. He's been out of the program now. I think he graduated probably about 1.5 months ago. So about 4 to 5 weeks out of the program, he just got hired at American Express. So it was a pretty cool experience for him. And that's kind of an outlier, obviously, but still to come out of a program that you're spending around $10,000 for to make $60,000 a year is pretty awesome.
Boom, right out of it. That's amazing. Congratulations. That obviously you have a great training. If WOZ's fingers are on it, I'm sure it has a great training platform, probably the best in the world is what I would expect.
Right.
Fantastic. Very excited to talk to you and to see all the I've already have I've written down a dozen points just from what you've talked about here. There's a lot of synergy and alignment of what we're trying to do and what you're doing. And thank you for taking the time here for us to have this presentation.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about what you do as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of threads here I can go. I'm just going to do briefly the Steve thread. And I decided that he's been in 3 of my projects to date. One is the snapshot of Los Gatos, and which we did in 1995 and 96. We did this map of Los Gatos, and it actually looks like this. Can you see, you're still seeing the screen, or do you see my document now, or it's still the screen?
Yeah, it's still the screen. So I see, the WOZ, I see the
okay, let me take this
WOZ
off.
world.
I'm going to put you back onto a different screen share. I had it on the specific one. I want to get you on my desktop. So now you see the...
Oh, there we go.
We did this map. This is a 24 by 36 poster, and it was also called Count the Cats Contest. Over 100 cats that are hidden all over it, and we gave away prizes. We were the first community interface on the internet in the world that had a contest running. This was in 95, early on in the internet, and we used it. There was only one other website in all of Los Gatos at that time that we knew about that was publicized. That was a community site, and I was website number 2. And we were out there trying to get websites for all the businesses in town and all the people learned about it. It was early on, so we did a contest called Count the Cats. It was a fun interface and project that we're now doing in the next generation. So now we're doing this project in augmented reality. So both the locations on the map are going to be geocoded, and you can come up to a map, run your phone over it, or wear glasses, and all of a sudden holograms will pop out and more information will be available. So that's how we're evolving this first phase of our technology, which is the 25th anniversary of the program. And Steve is in here. I didn't know him yet, so just before I met him, but I want to honor him because of the work he was doing in education and being in Los Gatos, and we're doing a Los Gatos project. I created on the map this little position here that has Steve on here with a little cat next to him, so you had to find the cats, and so he was one of the cat recipients there on this map. That was the first time, and then he didn't know about it until I slipped a couple of these posters in his Hummer one day and then followed up because we had some other programs to do. So that was the intro, and then we also did in 2000, so this was in 95, 96, and then 2000, we launched the Los Gatos Experience Millennial Time Capsule. It's an interface that you can still, are you familiar with archive.org?
No, I'm not.
So I'm going to turn you on to one of the coolest websites in the world that a lot of people don't know about. And I'm going to show you something magic. So this is archive.org. So if I go up here and I go into my losgatosx.com site that was running up until like 2004, and then it went away, and we actually produced a web CD. So we have this whole content that's inside of this archive is also inside of on a CD that we passed out 10,000 CDs around Silicon Valley at the time. And you can see all the snapshots that the Internet Archive has captured. So I'm just going to go back to an early on version of it first. I'm going to go back here to 2001. That was early on. We created this in 99, 2000 production. And it was our answer to Y2K, which was as a negative spin at that time. We wanted to do something positive. And so we created an interface that represented a community as a global template. And we built the Los Gatos Experience Digital Time Capsule. We call it the Millennial Time Capsule. It'll evolve to after this. And this is early on. And this was the original interface that we created for being involved in this project, and lots of content in here. Everything you want to know about the community. We spent like a year and a half to put all the content around this time. And so there's a whole backstory to it. There's a very exciting backstory that's inside of it that you can learn about the whole thing and learn about the time capsule and storytelling and all different types of tools and technologies that are in here that we gave away for free as a template of how to build community. And we also had a gallery, everything you want to know, all the sponsors. They actually sponsored a section like the art gallery. Virtual Gallery was one of our sponsors. They haven't been in business for years, but they were sponsored. They live on forever as the sponsor of this art gallery in the year 2000. And these are all the artists. It goes in deeper and deeper. So this is just one level I wanted to share, and I'll send you link backs to all of this, but I just want to give you a high level of that and get us as quickly to where we are now. So that's, again, involvement. Steve did a video inside there where I questioned him. So on here, you see it right here. I'll give you this link so you can come back here, but he's basically talking about my interview with him.
Who we as a community, who is Los Gatos, and you as a member of the community going into the 21st century. This is probably the strangest century ever to enter in the history of mankind because we're undergoing the greatest most rapid changes in how we live our life. And it's only just starting. Some people can avoid the total transformation to the internet and electronic communication, but it's so like a big heavy steamroller that you can't stop, that by the end of this next century, it's going to be just virtually everything that we do nowadays with materials made of atoms. It's all going to be bits on wires floating around. So we're in the during phase. I mean, I'm lucky I got to live in the before phase, and I know what it was like in the original days, and I grew up that way. But I also know that my kids are going to live a lot differently than I did. I think at the end of the 21st century, we'll really look back and say, boy, this is just such a new age. How did people ever live before with all the old ways? And that's the funny thing is, we actually lived pretty well. We actually felt pretty good. But it's just so different.
Very true, right?
Next generation look back, even 20 years from now, and
even 20 years from now,
realize some of the things that we grew up with, right down to only having one telephone company. I myself, I just hope that I'll be glad, because all my kids will be gone to school, and they'll be able to send a message back to yourself. What would you say to yourself? And the biggest thing that's going to happen in the next century is that traffic in this end of Los Gatos is going to finally work. Everything related.
And then for some magic reason, we lost the audio track. That's the end of this interview. There was about 10, 15 minutes of an interview, and the soundtrack got cut off right there for some reason. And
oh, man.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because there's still a problem with traffic on that side of Los Gatos.
Right.
And we're at the 20-year anniversary that he said we should do in 20 years, what it's going to look like. And we're doing right now the 20th anniversary version of the Los Gatos Experience time capsule. So it's a digital time capsule going to the future, to the distant future. There's a whole backstory of where it goes to the 31st century. And it's a very exciting story. There's a novel, a fractal novel, science fiction story that this is embedded into. So we call it the dream myth reality. So that was the second part, was the video that we just showed you of that was part of the time capsule. And then in 2004, we created the Los Gatos Experience virtual reality experience. We virtualized some of the prominent people in town, including Steve. So he was an avatar, and he was one of the avatars in this program. Down over here, there was a whole selection of avatars that you can play while you walk around this world and connect with people. And I was told by some of the top technologists in this area that Adobe would be the future of this technology, of virtual reality technology. This is in 2003 and 4. And I went for it. And I put my company full resources, which we weren't a very big company, a small company. We spent over a year developing in Adobe Atmosphere this platform, which was beautiful. It worked amazing. We were before Google Earth. You can zoom down from space right down to a location as an avatar, talk with other avatars, link into the building, connect with information that's embedded all over the walls inside of our office, and buy stuff off of it. It was a beautiful demonstration. You could tell your stories. We had calendars integrated with it, e-commerce, and it was just a lot of fun to walk around and go into these virtual buildings. And then after we had our final launch party, 3 months later, they dropped the platform. Adobe dropped the platform. On version 1, before they finished the Mac version. I was bummed. I spent a whole year working on this. All my resources went into it, and then they pulled the plug on us. It was terrible, but yeah, we're doing the same thing now. So nothing got lost, because one of the programs was a virtual educational program where you can actually have so I got Steve and the mayor of town and some of the CEOs to all say they would donate 1 hour a month to be virtual trainers, so people can come into the mayor or the chief of police, and you can be with them for an hour and learn directly from the chief of police. So a total mentor, how to build community with the top people in the town. And we had that going. And then again, the technology went away, and it dissolved away until now. So we're bringing that back now with better technology and virtual realities here. So we were ahead of ourselves. So in between, right around this time, I meet Steve. I bump into Steve at Safeway, online at Safeway. He's getting ice. I'm buying something else. And he turns around and goes, and he said, "Do you remember me, Steve?" And he goes, "Yeah, you're the guy who's always ahead of himself." Or ahead of the world, excuse me, ahead of the world. So it was a big compliment. Right. It was inspirational to get that compliment on a Safeway line from Steve Wozniak, such a great avatar of technology in this world.
Yeah.
So we've stayed at it, and we're still at it, and we're now involved with this unbelievable technology that I've been working on for the last few years. I'm a gamification specialist. I developed a game of life inside of a game. And it's based on a holographic vision that I had in 1980 of this holographic technology, very advanced. We're still catching up to it now. And so now that the VR, that's why I was always intrigued with the VR. Again, I had to back channel it into a game platform. And so I've been developing, since the virtual reality went away, that experience, I put my focus back into my game technology, which I've been working up to that behind the scenes for about 15 years. And so now the last 14 years, 15 years now again, we've been working on building the whole infrastructure, waiting for the tech to catch up so we can do the full vision in virtual, augmented, AI, blockchain. It integrates it all together inside of a beautiful platform where you can now navigate holographically infinitely deep levels of these holons. Are you familiar with holons? Introducing holons to you right now then. A holon is like a holographic entity. It's a fractal. You know what a fractal is?
Uh-huh.
So fractal is like the whole is created inside of it. So it can be replicated over and over and over and can go infinitely deep in a fractal, right? It keeps going.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I call this fractal technology. It's a fractal browser. And I'm just going to give a little bit more because I can go on for an hour with this, but I just wanted to share a little bit of where we're heading. And what we're doing now is using this holonic or holographic technology, both as a game platform and as a content repository for any information, any pictures, stories, video, and it goes into, again, holographics via augmented and virtual reality. So we're integrating all of those components together inside of Mix of Tech, which is, again, using the digital web, photo technologies, video animation, films, virtual. Oh, here's my one. This was a walking holon here. I'm going to put it back where it belongs. It was supposed to be in digital web. So I'm going to drop it inside of there. And now I'm going to go in the digital web one. And we're now inside of the holon for digital web. And I can grab it now and move it where it needs to be. And you can move these holons, again, holographically. It can go up channel. It can, if you see this button here, I'm going up and down inside of it. And it's a little slow right now. Normally it just zips in and out when you have all the full resources and everything. But so this is what we're doing. It's the digital web with photography, video, virtual, AI, blockchain, and some holistic spiritual technologies at the center, using like more quantum, we call it more quantum technologies. And so we're looking for developers and all over the world, especially young people. We want to light up a whole force of young people to create this, what we call the holographic web, a holographic database of consciousness or of infinite content, however you want to phrase it. We're building team right now, and we're building an organization around people on a local level that will be capturing content like we've been doing in Los Gatos for 25 years now, and to take that integration of tech and to be able to do it anywhere in the world, and with a solid business model next to it so you can make money and help change the world for the better and help people to be in better relationship. That's kind of my high-level pitch of what we're about and for understanding of what we're about. And then, again, the WOZ, I just see such a beautiful fit that we can be out there. And I already have some young people that are interested to learn technology. So we pump them through WOZ, and they have to get certified in WOZ and to get the certification to be able to be a certain level producer inside of our system. Because we only want skilled people. We don't want, this is like a wiki. It's an infinite wiki that also has a game engine attached to it. I'm going to go into the game now and introduce you to experience the game. This is 30 some odd years old of a technology that is kind of very deep technology, and it's different than a normal game. It is a multiplayer, so it's a role-playing game, but it's more, we call it a dream myth reality. You play your life to be the best version of yourself. So, and we have avatars and all of that inside of it. So, and there's cards that you create through this experience. You're actually creating cards, and holons are actually the holographic cards. And here are some of the decks that we've created over the years. It kind of goes back in time. It's going to do one click here and then come back to a very specific targeted spot. Now you can see some of the databases that I'm creating inside of it. The most I've inputted so far is inside of the 2006 version that we printed and had a mass distribution. And this is just a suit of cards, one of the suits of cards that all have meaning. Each card has a meaning to it. This is my corporate card. So if you come over here, you're going to learn about the corporate. On the right side, you would have all the linear and links and everything about that entity, that holon, which could be a company, a community, an individual, and so on. It could be anything could be inside this holon as an educational delivery system as well.
You're fine. I like learning more about it. So if you have more to share, keep going. Yeah, it's very interesting to me. A lot of it is stuff that I don't fully understand, but some of it makes sense. I think it's a pretty cool way to archive and just keep the history of what's going on in there.
Yeah, to kind of show how this works and also show the heart of this technology based on, again, this holographic experience that we tapped into. Here's my holographic vision card. So how to play, tools. I'm just building this now, but here's the vision right here. It's more than a game. It's a powerful communication tool and relationship building tool to bring people together to deep levels of connection. And so it goes deeper into that, but that's kind of the primary raison d'etre for this system. And I'm just going to go into in the center. So this is my top level. I call this home. Everybody will have their own home space. I renamed it with an OM and a capital in the middle, but it's my home page. And so on here, I designed it. This is our game board. So we have 8 bubbles and the 4 directions. So it has a lot of sacred geometry built into it. Universal understanding and from different traditions and cultures and so on has been integrated into this as part of the platform. And so I broke it down, this one presentation, as a what, why, how, who, when, where, how much, and contact info. So that's on the 4 directions, on the 8 color stages that we play in the game. In the middle here, that's actually a game playing surface. This is kind of, I'm just storing information. So I can go into each of, like we went into the what before, I can go into the how or whatever. But now I'm going to click in the middle. Now I'm in the game. And there are different games within the game because I can create infinite levels of this game if I want to. This one I only did 4 levels here because I wanted to have the 4 main gateways showing that I can play in. So I have the education gateway, community gateway, wellness gateway, and business gateway. Those are the 4 gateways to the experience. Let's go play in education gateway since that's what we're talking about. And now I'm just building this, so this is new. I'm going to actually create a new one in here. I'm going to create one for WOZ right now. Now WOZ has its own hold-on. Actually, our journey now to go back and grab that WOZ hold-on. What I could have done, which I'm going to do now to demonstrate that part, is I can do a search on anything, any hold-on in this whole system. So if I just put WOZ there and I click, you see that in this over here, in this space over here, it's now searching the whole database of all the hold-ons, and anything that has a reference or titled with WOZ will come up. Could you set aside an hour so we can drill in, do yours, and then talk about some business?
Yeah, we can do that.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. You have a wonderful rest of the day, and it was great to meet you, and looking forward to follow up and explore further.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jay.
All right, have a great day.
You too, bye.